I don't know, man. These part twos. I think that's how the last part two started with us going, oh man, these part twos. But it's so true. Oh, I'm just gonna jump right in. We're getting weird today.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna get so weird.
Yeah. What just got him? You unplugged something of yourself.
Oh, I unplugged the cord of my laptop.
Oh, I thought it came out of, well, you. My kid is now fast asleep. I can pour myself a glass. But too many shows on Netflix are trash. It makes me wanna pass. I can't figure out what to watch. What am I supposed to do? Let's get drunk and rewatch cartoons when we were little dudes. Whiskey-lodeon. Well, did you enjoy your pizza?
I did enjoy my pizza.
Are we getting really good about eating and not doing these on an empty stomach or
we've learned our lesson.
Or Benadryl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. We have learned our lessons.
We've learned our lessons.
We feel we're in a groove.
I think we're getting in a groove.
Yeah.
Although we have immediately just jinxed it. But here's the thing. If this episode is weird and not good, that's okay. It's going to mimic the content.
Yeah, because this is our Let's Get Weird episode. And we're covering a weird show.
We are, and I think we can probably talk quickly about the beverage session.
Now what is not weird is the whiskey we're drinking. We are drinking a delectable Small Roses Small Batch. Sorry,
Yes.
4 Roses Small Batch.
Small Roses for 4-batch. Oh, no. Here we go. Strap in, Lodians.
Yes, the 4 Roses Small Batch, and it is so delicious.
I guess our rule has always been have a Henry McKenna side piece. So it's these episodes make me laugh because our side it's just 2 glasses of whiskey because we don't have any special drink combo with this. However, you do have a little box something up there. Tell me what's happening.
So these are my salted whiskey caramel bonbons.
Salted whiskey caramel bonbons.
Yes.
All right. So you're handing it over to me. I'm gonna reach.
Go ahead, grab that.
All right. We have a. Okay. We're recording this from Charlotte. Our football club, soccer.
Mm-hmm.
This is our logo.
Really?
Well, it's not the logo. It's
but
the team.
color
It's
scheme.
almost the team color scheme. Yeah. It's like that cool mint, seafoam green swirl.
Okay.
Yeah. With, the backdrop of traditional dark chocolate.
Yeah, like this was very much just mixing a bit of white and a dark green to kind of get this lighter green.
Yeah.
But,
and, take a look on the socials. You'll be able to see this.
Now, one of the flavor notes of the 4 Roses Small Batch is caramel, so I thought this would be a perfect blend. So,
okay, so I need to swap these over here.
Yeah, get out of that Henry McKenna, which actually Henry McKenna should work because it also has caramel notes.
Yeah, it's just a little more subtle.
Yeah. So take a sip and then take a bite. And you probably want to put the whole thing because this is a more loose caramel.
Love a loose caramel. Okay, so sip, bite.
Sip and then bite.
You're about to drip caramel on your laptop. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm dripping on my shirt.
Caramel is like the spider web of delicacy candy.
Yeah, this was one that needed to go all the way in the mouth.
Well, it's weird. It dripped onto your chest, and it's made it all the way down to your tum-tum because of the nature of caramel. It's like webby. Make sense?
It is, but it's also delicious.
But you got some for later now.
Yeah.
That's really good, dude.
Right?
Yeah, that I think Jefferson's Ocean aged at sea would go really well with this bonbon. Yum. Oh, thank you. You're goodness.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Take a look at these pictures and I don't know, can people what if somebody wants these?
So that is the plan, is that hopefully by next season we will be able to actually sell these, at which point we'll pick a whiskey for this season and say, hey, we are featuring this bottle of whiskey, and I'm going to make 4 different bonbons that pair with that particular bottle.
Sweet.
And then we'll do like a pre-order. You guys can say, hey, I absolutely want that. Fucking yes. And then I will have these made and we'll send them out.
So we shall cross that bridge. Stay tuned.
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I enjoy those every single time. Ty asked me earlier, he's like, do you want 1 or 2 bonbons. You idiot. Come on.
Give me all of them.
All of them. I'm Miss Fingerwood over here counting the number I want. Ty, this week you have introduced me to a show I have never heard of.
It was a show I had not heard of. We're getting into 100 Deeds of Eddie McDowd.
Okay. You got some fun facts?
I do have some fun facts.
Do you have fun facts? Do you have fun facts?
It still holds up.
Oh, fun facts.
You know what would be a really great podcast material? This show was created by Stephen H. Berman, Nat Bernstein, and then Mitchell Catlin. In which case, the whole premise of the show is that you have this piece of shit bully named Eddie McDowd who is so awful that some spiritual being / warlock / person curses him to turn him to a dog until he can do 100 good deeds.
He's a dumpster demon.
He is a dumpster demon.
What else could he be?
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So this dumpster demon
dumpster
says,
fuck.
"Hey, you're making me look bad, so you're going to be a dog until you can do good." And it gets nuts, man.
What a premise. Yeah. Okay. Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Green
Voices.
voices.
Amazing. But we do get to see his human form for a little bit
Right,
in these beginning bits.
right. So it is not Seth Green as the actor.
You did great last week, by the way. You only used one of your. We gotta name these. What are these? Ty's researched corner. That's stupid. That's bad. We gotta name it. Look up a way to name this.
All right, I will take a look to name this. Because you're only giving me 6. That was your whole thing. I was like, you could only search up 6 things at a time.
And that counts per. So we do 2 recordings at a time. That counts per recording. I mean, per day. That makes sense.
I mean, does it though? Because it's Jason Harvey is the actor.
Okay, so we just saw him in some strange silhouette.
Yes,
the
they
whole
basically
time.
darkened it. At which point, then you see Seth. You don't even see Seth Green is then the voiceover of Eddie McDowd.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's only in it for, a couple minutes. It's all set up. It's almost safe to shoot it that way because then later, I imagine, I don't know, they're probably going to show the real person and they don't want to maybe pigeonhole themselves into a actor.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, we want this to go, arbitrary number, 5 seasons. Just shoot this guy silhouetted and we'll just find someone later.
yeah, because especially if it's a pilot episode,
Yeah.
they don't know if they're going to keep the person. Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense. That makes sense.
I think we did some deductive reasoning there. This is episode 2 of the recording, episode 4 of the season. We did brain math. And I'm impressed with us, Ty.
I'm very impressed.
I'm very proud
because
of
we've
us.
had a lot to drink,
Yeah.
and we're only going to be drinking more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do the thing.
Let's dive into the madness. So this show was, I already said it was who it was created by. So this series, of course, was canceled due to declining ratings in the spring of 2002 with only 40 episodes, which means there was still 60 deeds left for him to do.
Well, that makes me upset
Why does that make you upset?
because
I mean, he was
I
very
wanted him
cute
to-
as a dog. I'd rather him stay as a dog.
that's fair. I do have an affinity for huskies. Yes, it was like an Australian Shepherd Husky. I don't know. It doesn't make me upset. I don't know why I said that. I guess the whole idea was like, let's make this go at least 100 episodes,
Yeah.
which is,
Pretty ambitious.
yeah, and I know in that era, we're talking a season was, upwards 20 something episodes. Now we're looking at like 8 episodes. That could be a season. So could you imagine trying to shoot that show today and let's just say every episode was a deed? That would take 12-ish, 12 to 13, depending on how many you want to shoot, seasons to do a whole ass deed reel.
It would take, 13 seasons to get to finally 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Like at that point, it was still ambitious even for its time. But yeah, even now, this episode doesn't even start at the beginning. It starts in the middle.
In medias res.
Yes. So it basically starts off with Eddie's already the dog, and he's running away from some animal control lady who turns out to be Kathy Bates.
Amazing.
Like, I was like, what?
She can play the most monstrous of characters, and I still love to watch her on screen.
Yeah.
She's an angel.
She is an angel baby.
Yes. She crushed it. I don't know. Is she in this more? Probably.
I have not. We've literally just dived into this episode, so we've only seen 2 episodes of it, so we don't know.
Maybe.
But no, she is now chasing him, and he's like trying to get away. He like gets her to run in the trash can, and then he tries to go up a slide, but he's a dog, so he doesn't have really good traction on his paws. So then he slides back into her arms, and she goes, "You're in my world, pooch."
Yeah. She's brutal.
Yeah, she's a wrestler in this.
I wonder why she's in this industry. Why is she in the dog industry that she hates dogs so much? I guess because she gets to put them in behind cages?
Well, so what we'll find out later is that she ends up confessing. It's like, look, like these animals will turn on you just because you forget to feed them for a day or 4. So she's mad because she had a dog who then like turned on her for forgetting to feed the dog for 4 days.
Ah, strange.
Oh no, consequences.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
Boomer.
I can empathize with her on that one. Intermittent fasting.
Yes. So Eddie gets caught, and at this point, he now is realizing, oh, hey, I can understand dogs, and they can talk to me. And they're like, yeah, well, you've never talked to another dog before? Are you an idiot? Like, you basically have this, like, New Jersey pug who's like, hey, baby, why you getting all mad and weirded out, baby?
What accent is that?
I guess that was my attempt at a Jersey accent. Did I fail?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to figure out where you went, though.
I was trying to do
fun.
Jersey. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, do it again. I want to dissect it.
Hey, baby, where you think you're going? Why are you talking so loud, baby?
All right, you're kind of like a hybrid of Australian and like Bayou.
Okay.
I hadn't heard it before.
Okay.
I'm not saying I can do it. That's not what I'm saying.
So basically, if I was trying to be an Australian Gambit. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What does this guy sound like? He's like hey, Toots, it's like you've never heard a talking dog before. He sounds
like a Boston guy. Like it's just
I can't do Boston, but it's kind of like yeah, you never heard a talking dog before. All right, come on now, let's see what you got here. I'm going full Barbara here.
Oh, you're so better at this than I am.
Barbara, well she's more like in here, and she's really concerned about the kids and the downloads and the iCloud generation.
And there's just no privacy anymore.
I guess that's back to the bayou of Australia. So yeah, you got this pug who's Australian, also from New Orleans, and somehow also from the Northeast.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah, that works.
So at this point, Ed is like, "How did I even get here?" And that's when we come back to the very beginning, where he's at school and he's just being himself, picking on people. It's like, "Hey, I was just seeing my friends. I made some new friends," and then he pushes the guy who somehow ends up in a trash can rolling down the hill.
The 90s was all about so set up punchline.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that is not a 90s thing, that is a thing, but the setup was always done in like normal or crazy. The speed, I'm talking about the speed of a shot and the action that happens in it. The speed never matched the outcome, and I love it so much. So what you're talking about is he walks up these stairs and he almost delicately like plucks this kid into the air for a second.
Yeah.
And then the next shot is so aggressively just him in a trash can
rolling down the hill
so much faster than and we're going to see that time and time again, I think, in the show. In every show.
Oh, you know what? Every moment of this show that it goes that way, what do they play?
Ska music.
They play so much ska music.
And Ty and I are not complaining about ska music. I like it for a certain amount of minutes.
Yes.
I do. It's nostalgic. I think about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I think about, honestly, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Not even the 90s. So, yeah, it was born a long time ago. Yada, yada, yada. But this was
everywhere in this show.
Well, it would happen in these moments where the emotional beat just like something happens, and then it could be dark, or
he's just pushing a guy in the trash can.
You know what? I think trombones would be good here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So ska music is going to be happening a lot in this show.
Very prominent.
Yeah. I wonder if it tanked because just people weren't really into ska yet.
Well, it came out in 1999, which was before Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So I think
just a little bit before, yeah.
They were just behind.
I don't know why I think ska in 2003.
They were too early.
It's
like isn't that when Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out?
It might have been around there. It's like, did you ever go to Vans Warped Tour?
I had not, but I've been wanting to. Like that was one of those things. Like,
yeah.
I can see Green Day and Blink-182.
And it was like, I'm not saying
ska
ska was like the thing there, but like there were a couple ska acts that you didn't miss that one. You sacrificed another stage for that ska band, whatever it was. I don't know. I remember getting like my shirt autographed by a ska band there. It's Less Than Jake and Ty. I took my shirt off for them to sign it, and they told me I needed to eat more, and they told me to maybe consider eating grass. I'm not making that up. So I started a podcast, and now I can't fit into that T-shirt over there.
Because you should have eaten more grass.
I blame ska music. I get it now. I see why the show didn't work out. This makes sense.
Oh my gosh.
It's mind-blowing. So yeah, you're gonna hear ska music if you watch this show.
You're going to hear a plethora of it. So at this point, Eddie's just being a total douchebag. I know he's sitting there pushing people around. Apparently he has a teacher terrified. He goes, I think the teacher owes me money.
Yeah.
And then he steals like some kid's milk. It's like, I just need to make sure that I quench my thirst and steal a kid's milk. And he tries to hit on this girl. The girl doesn't pay him any money. He goes, that's all right. She'll fall for the Eddie charm soon enough. And so at this point, you find out that the girl not interested in him, her name is Gwen. And her brother, her younger brother, who I guess is in 9th grade. I guess she's a senior. I don't know the age range here. But she's older, he's younger, and he's got a cast on, and she goes, you're such a dork, man. And it's like, I have so many classes. I have woodwork next, and I have a broken arm. What if I cut my thumb? Then you'll be a 9-fingered dork. Like, there is no... I don't want to say there's no love lost, because it could be that she just teases him because she loves him, but it's just very much... Like, I mean, because what about you? Did you ever tease your brother?
Sure. But I don't remember our relationship being any sort of like give take bully type of relationship. Like, yeah, we're less than 2 years apart. So I am the older brother, but like we kind of poked fun at each other, but not really that much. And it was never like malignant as far as I remember. Did you? Well, I know. we've heard some of those stories. The time you tried to murder your brother, and
he was not murdered. He was just left at a box of wood. And
you actually built a coffin around your very alive brother.
It was a sarcophagus to bring him immortality. And
have you told TJ that part? Because that is a revelation. He might need to hear that from you.
That might give him so much healing.
Yeah, it might be the gap closer, the thing that brings you together.
It'll be the clamp that holds it together.
The clam that holds it together.
Clamp, not clam.
We hear what we need to hear. Part 2 today.
Yes, part 2.
It's part 2.
And speaking of what we need to hear today, Eddie is walking around with milk, and what he hears is this kid walking by, knocks the milk out of his hand on accident, and he gets covered in milk.
It is as if a helicopter of milk.
Yeah, it is a little carton of milk, but when we look at him, it looks like 300 gallons of milk got poured on him.
Yeah, it's like the little cartons that we got at lunch that ended up getting soggy by the time you got halfway through.
It was disconcerting when that happened.
Right next to your little square pizza or your Salisbury steak. Don't even know what that was. That carton.
Yeah.
That little baby carton. It just kept pouring.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't that it kept pouring, is that we see just a little bit of it come out, but then we see him and he is
the remnants.
Drenched.
It's kind of strawberry
like it got in
milk
the air. It looked like it's strawberry milk, but when it landed on him, it was just regular milk. But it's like suddenly here's this little bit of milk coming out, but then it somehow multiplies. Somehow Jesus threw up this milk and it multiplied in the air and just cascaded all over Eddie.
Yeah, it was slime Jesus.
Yes. And at that point, Ed is like, oh, motherfucker, you fucked up.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do anything at that moment. No, he waits.
No, he's humiliated. He actually
humiliated.
is embarrassed.
He is embarrassed. But he stands over the guy, and then he just lets this kid go. And the kid's name is Justin, by the way. He's going to become important later. So at this point, Justin said, like, man, I fucked up today. And this girl named Sarifa Chung, who's played by Brenda Song, who you might recognize from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She's also been in a couple other things. I think she is actually married to Macaulay Culkin.
Oh.
So she's been in a lot of stuff. But I think this is her first foray into Nickelodeon. And so at this point, she like meets up with Justin. It's like, hey, man, so you're probably going to die soon. So can I have your stuff? Doesn't really say that. But she's like, hey, I'm talking to you, but also I'm letting you know you might not survive. And that's when we find that Eddie corners him and he was like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. Can we be cool? Nah.
No.
Pours paint all over him and then hangs him up from a flagpole.
That flagpole, yes, I know it was shot at a low angle.
Yeah. But
holy shit, that was like
so
100
high.
feet high.
At
which
which
like the
point,
CN Tower.
Yeah, and Eddie has his one-liners. He's like, I support higher education. And then,
good.
Yeah, it was a clever one.
Good. It's good.
So at this point, Eddie's then like skipping school, and he starts throwing rocks in a window, and then he sees a dog, throws rocks at a dog, which by all means,
That was the...
if there
Listen, you can bully humans. You should
Yes.
No. You shouldn't do that.
no, you can still bully humans, but we will not despise
You will
you
draw a line.
until you start fucking with the dog.
Yeah. You fuck with dogs.
And it's not even just he fucked with a dog. He was throwing rocks at a dog. The dog climbs into a car. He starts throwing rocks at the car windshield, which these rocks are not that big, and the windshield's cracking with ease. And then somehow, by the fourth rock, the car explodes.
A full-blown explosion.
Full-blown explosion.
Yep.
I remember, like, I turned around and looked at you, and your face of just shock, like, what the fuck was this?
I was like, okay, I know why we're doing this for Let's Get Weird.
yes.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm in. Let's do
Yes.
this. And then old dumpster demon just rounds the corner.
Old dumpster demon, the drifter, brings the dog and says, Eddie McDowd, you're a piece of shit. And then Eddie was like, how the fuck do you know my name? And he goes, you've tortured people long enough. And he goes, you don't scare me. So then he summons a fucking storm. And he does this whole poem. He calls it a poem. It's a curse. He literally curses the guy. And it's like, you will remain a dog until you do 100 good deeds. And of course, Eddie turns to a dog. And I gotta say, a Australian Shepherd Husky mix is fucking adorable.
Could have been worse.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Why would you give someone your cursing like a super cute like look?
I gotta say, that is from a casting standpoint. All right, there's a few rules in the industry.
Cast away.
The joke is what? Don't cast children, puppets, or animals. Obviously, we're going to see that time and time again in pop culture, but the joke is like, yeah, you don't do that because the variability is crazy. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't rely on the situation to go as planned.
Fair enough.
They went not only with an animal, a dog, an Australian Shepherd Husky. Have you ever tried to train one of those?
No.
They're the best good boys. But oh my God. Let me tell you, like,
speaking from experience,
for someone who was practically raised by Huskies, like, yes, raised by Huskies, I can tell you that's not easy. They are special little babies.
he turned him into a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
Says, you're stuck there until you do 100 good deeds. Weren't you listening to my poem?
Dude, you could knock those out so quick. The fact that this only went 40?
Yeah,
Either
this
60
went...
or 40.
I'm pulling this
The
up.
fact that he only did one per episode is what I mean.
Yeah, 40 episodes. Yeah, I only did one episode. But he's also a person in a dog's body, so he doesn't have the best time comprehension.
All right, philosophy question.
Okay, shoot.
If you're doing good deeds for the sake of knowing that you're doing a good deed, is it a good deed?
So, philosophical answer. if the result is a good deed, is the reason behind it a concern? And I only say that because it is widely contested that if you are to do good deeds, even if you start off not doing it for the right reasons, it will still transform you into someone who does good deeds.
So the intention here is not as important as the outcome.
As the results, yeah.
I see.
So at this point, yes, if here's this shit douchebag of a douche canoe, does these good deeds, is he gonna be the same shit person when he turns back? Probably not, because he's already started doing good stuff that he was never doing before.
So he's introducing habit, and maybe that could transform.
Right.
Okay.
So
fun.
From there, we now get him back into.
Let's get weird. Let's get philosophical. You know, whatever.
This is weirdly philosophical.
Weirdly.
Ada. So I gotta go ahead and share this. When I was sitting outside waiting on Sean, because we were doing today, and so he was
I had to go to the
shopping.
whiskey store.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and he is remoting into his little door ringer, and he goes, oh! And like doing like these insane sexual noises that are super loud, and like people are walking by, and I'm just having to like, hi.
Like, is this guy trying to break in? Is he like trying to orgasm his way into a house?
It's breaking and entering one way or another.
I mean, I felt pretty good about it, but I was also on my end of the call. I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Driving by with my windows down, and I was like, what am I doing?
What is my life?
Yeah. I probably looked more strange than you did.
But you know what? People that were watching were probably like, I kind of want to see what they do on a podcast.
And then Ty left them a business card.
Yep. Here we are. So from there, he's now stuck back in the animal shelter. And at this point, she's like, I got to get out of here. And a guy comes in and he goes, hey, look at me. I'm being charming. And then the lady, Kathy Bates' character, is like, no, this dog is a piece of shit. Let me show you the good dog. Like immediately, and he is like, what's wrong with this dog? And he's like, yeah, I don't like dogs. And he was like, hey, I'm getting this for my family, but my wife doesn't know. She doesn't like dogs. And Kathy Bates' character was like, yeah, good reason. They're awful. He's like, what the fuck? You work with dogs. And he goes, yeah, well, they turn on you after you don't feed them for 4 days.
His nonverbals in this scene were very good.
Yes.
So like, I mean, imagine working like beside Kathy Bates and trying to not break.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty fantastic of the actor.
Yeah, because she was going for it, and his lines, he doesn't have many. He just has to react. So well done,
sir. But it turns out that this is Justin's dad, because Justin walks in and he sees Eddie McDowd, and he goes, "Hey, you're a cute dog," and he goes, "Yeah, well, bite me." And the guy's like, "What the fuck?" He talks,
which was introduced actually during the poem, if you will.
Yeah, the poem is like,
said
you
the
can
last
always
person you tormented is the only one who can understand you.
Yes.
Old dumpster demon.
Little dumpster demon had his ironic ways of doing things.
Ironic or just different? I don't know. Strange. Weird. They got weird before we did. Yeah.
We're getting weird because they were weird.
And whiskey.
Aw.
Yay. Yeah, so he hears him. He hears him talk.
And so he thinks everyone else can. And I was like, oh, well, the dog's barking at you. Of course he's trying to talk to you. I was like, no, he's speaking words. I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. And so at this point, he's like, hey, man, you got to let me go. You got to set me free. Help me out. And so Justin's like, all right, I will take this dog. And it wasn't like enthusiastic. I was like, hey, it's this dog you want? I was like, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Like the tone of indifference. Ooh. So at this point, they take the dog home. The mom and the sister do not take this well. In fact, Eddie tries to give her a kiss, which really...
I don't even know how to dive into that one.
Yeah, that was kind of...
rapey.
Yeah, it was very
a little
rapey.
bit. Yep.
Yes, never has a dog kiss been so icky.
Yeah, a little bit of ick.
Yeah, a lot of ick.
Yeah.
And so at this point, that's when Justin finally realizes, holy shit, my dog is the guy who hung me from the flagpole.
Yeah.
And of course, they had the whole thought. I was like, oh, I got it because he was having such a hard day. I wanted him to have a friend. I feel like he really likes him. And the cut to Justin's like, I fucking hate you.
Good cut.
Yeah, it was a very good cut. And so at that point, Justin's like, all right, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It's like, well, I got to do 100 good deeds. Oh, but I also got to pee. Can you let me off the hook? I don't want to pee with you holding the leash.
Yeah, I like how he refers to the yellow fire hydrants as the restroom.
Yeah. And so, of course, Justin's trying to be a good kid, and he lets the dog out of the leash so that he can go pee, and Eddie runs off.
Fucks all the way off.
Fucks all the way off. So at this point, Justin's chasing after him, goes into like some, I don't even know how to describe it, because it's not like an alleyway. It is an alleyway, because there's like a bunch of dumpsters around. I don't know if that has an end.
I'd call it an alleyway. Yeah.
So
it's kind of like it, but it's weird. It's like part alleyway. It's got some girth to it.
Yeah, it's a very large alleyway.
But there are like cars there.
There's no cars.
No,
it was a bunch of.
It looked like
a
the
bunch
other
of
alleyway.
dumpsters. It had a bunch of boxes.
I think they shot it in the same location and
They
just
probably
moved around the.
But they had to
set
move the exploded
pieces.
car because they're like, oh, this already exploded. Let's move it out of the way.
Right.
But everything else was just boxes and dumpsters and ladders.
Strange
to apartments.
place. Yeah.
Very strange place. And that's when he runs into Eddie's old crew.
Because of course that's where they are.
Yes, that's where they hang out because they're trash pandas.
That's not fair to trash pandas.
Oh, I'm sorry, raccoons. So at that point, Eddie is like, oh, hey, it's my crew. And everyone like just looks at him and is like, who's this fucking dog? And then Eddie starts like yapping. He's trying to bark his way. I was like, hey, guys, it's me. And they don't understand him. So like, if you don't shut your dog up, and he's like, well, it's not really my dog. And they're like, fine. So the guy takes a trash can, puts it over a dog, and starts banging on the drum to hurt his ears. It's like, these people are awful.
They're awful to dogs.
Yeah.
And humans.
And humans, but mainly dogs. That's what matters more. And so at this point, like, Justin pushes the guy away, and he's like, all right, well, you done fucked up. And Eddie finally gets out of the trash can and is like, you don't turn your back on Eddie McDowd, which I gotta say, a pretty hard line. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, pretty
and
hard.
he goes in and bites the guy in the ass.
He literally bites his cheek.
Yeah, just argh. And at that point, the guy's chasing the dog is jumping up, ska music playing everywhere. And so, of course,
Just out of nowhere.
Like, here's a
but it's not out of nowhere because we know it's
full
going to
of
happen.
tension. And so, like, the guy's climbing a ladder, and Eddie's already up there biting his hand, so he falls into a dumpster, and he runs down and closes the dumpster door. And then the other guy that was part of the crew that was holding Justin, like, runs up because he's like, oh, I'm scared, and his arms are flailing around.
A lot of flailing.
And so at this point, like, Eddie's like, all right, so thanks for everything, but I'm probably going to still, like, jet. He goes, well, where are you going to go? It's like, I don't know, but I still expect you to keep me home, let me sleep, feed me.
Soft pillow.
And then he just looks over, and there's the garbage demon, the dumpster demon, just sitting there cutting a bush in the shape of a 99. And then he goes, oh, well, maybe I should see what else I can do.
Yeah, is that guy real?
I don't know. We haven't seen an episode where anyone else interacts with him.
He's like the Arnie. What's his name?
Artie.
From
Adventures of Pete and Pete, yes.
But maybe no one can see him.
Yeah.
Except for, well, how he's supposed to be, an imagination.
Yes.
He's a little more, at least he's not wearing a fucking unitard with a bulge.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Not yet. We don't know.
But
Can't confirm.
But yeah, this was our introduction into Eddie McDowd.
Yeah.
What'd you think, man?
I enjoyed it. I really did. For a Let's Get Weird episode, I gotta say this one was a little more grounded. I could follow it.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not saying it was grounded. Little more.
Based off the other examples we've had.
I mean, we've done Ren and Stimpy, Angry Beavers. I mean, we've done Wienerville.
Yeah.
So I think the next episode we're talking about definitely hits some more beats of weirdom.
Yeah, you're right.
I liked it. I also, I think I didn't like any of the characters.
Yeah, all the characters seem awful, and we'll get more of that into this next episode.
I think so, yeah.
But it was like, I've never had so much fun while still despising all the characters.
Same. I think it's actually a show I would potentially like watch. Well, knowing that we don't get all of it. Okay, if they went 100 or more episodes, I would want to see how this character arc happens. I could see it getting stale, though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
It's
yeah,
just like
cool. He's doing a good thing.
thing of the week.
So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I enjoyed it though. I had fun.
It was fun. I gotta say, it was more fun seeing your reactions.
They got the I mean the animals' mouths. They did a really good job.
They did do a good job there.
That is so time consuming. I'm not saying I've done it before. I've worked with people who have, and what goes into that can be a lot. So fucking God, good job.
Yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah. But if you see a dumpster demon,
maybe don't fuck with them.
Don't throw rocks at dogs.
Don't throw rocks at dogs. Stop it. The fuck is wrong with you? It's a damned shame this even has to be said, but here we are. I'm Dinslow Tripletooth. You may know me as the man who hosts Getting Gosh Darn Cooked with Dinslow Tripletooth, or the spokesperson for The Good Squirt. But what you don't know about me is that more importantly, I'm an advocate for man's best friend. They are majestic and full of love, and I will protect them, whatever it takes. I've killed a man before with a Teflon spatula. If you think a second time is out of the question, you might live under the very rock of which you throw. Rocks are meant to be walked on, gazed upon, or skipped over the delicate aquamarine waters like I used to do with my ex-wife, Delilah. That damned magnetic minx. I remember how she used to share her strawberry milk with me just after we made sweet, sweet love in the alleyway. The one with the abandoned cars. We used to get very naked and role play as.
Whiskey-lodian.
So if we get to this next episode, this is actually only the third episode, in which case the episode is called Dog Day Out.
That feels like that's every episode title.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And so in this one, the summary is just, though Eddie can't fool his master, he can fool his master's father. So, well, in fact, that he takes Eddie to the doctor. Eddie then thinks he's found the love of his life. There's only one problem. She's a dog.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I mean, do we have to spell it out?
Let's get weird.
Oh, I meant bestiality.
Oh, yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
So, at this point, Eddie is now pulling Justin in a wagon and just like, hey, stop, that's going too fast. And of course, Eddie stops and the wagon runs into a bunch of trash cans.
We are back to our slow motion setup or fast setup with a slow motion or fast punchline.
Yep.
Yep. The result does not match the inciting incident.
And at that point, Justin's like, oh, I think I hurt myself. And he's like, all right, well, cool. You need to pull me on the wagon now.
That reminds me, that voice you just did. The dumpster demon has this persona in the way beginning, what we just talked about. And then suddenly he goes, he kind of breaks character a little bit and just like he goes into his normal accent. Remember that?
Yeah, he's like, Eddie McDowd. I was like, well, you better get on those good deeds.
You better get on those good deeds. You're like, what is happening?
Are you a dumpster demon? Okay. Or are you?
I actually liked it. And this episode that we're talking about now made me laugh a lot. There's some stuff that happens.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know which ones were your favorite moments. Because I mean, from here,
I think as we get to it, we'll know.
As Justin is pulling Eddie on the wagon, that is when you find out that one, Justin's really out of shape. And then two, Eddie ends up running across this cute little, I guess she's a Pomeranian.
Yeah, it's an all white pom-pom. I mean, it's a Pomeranian. It's
an all white fluff ball.
Yeah.
And her name is Gigi.
Very
and
French.
She's like, oh, I can't believe you trained your humans so well as to push you around.
That's right. That's a good accent. You did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can get there.
I knew you could.
Oh,
I'm so
you're
proud
such a
of you.
supportive person.
I don't know if that's true. I'm working on it though.
So at this point, Eddie is like, yeah, you should see him roll over. And of course, Justin, who's exhausted on the ground, rolls over. And at this point, like as he's talking to Gigi, he's like, I really like her accent. Wait, what am I doing? She's a dog. And all right, Justin, mush. mush, push me around or pull me around.
A little mush push, if you will.
Yeah, a little mush push.
I don't love that.
And don't like how that sounded.
Don't like it.
And so we cut back to their home, and Justin fell asleep on the couch. He is worn the fuck out. And so at this point, Eddie's just thinking about, oh my goodness, I really like this dog. What am I going to do? So, of course, he licks Justin awake. And Justin's like, ew, what are you doing? You're licking me. He goes, yeah, what do you think I feel? That was my tongue. I was like, why the fuck did you do that? But now he's expressing how he has these feelings for this dog. He goes, yeah, oh, you like a dog? Ew. And at this point,
at least they address it.
They do.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And it's kind of funny.
And so at this point, like, Eddie's like, well, fine, fuck you. And he takes a pillow and throws it at Justin. Justin then's like, you don't think I'm going to throw this pillow right back at you? You think everything is my fault, that you're, like, totally innocent? And that's when Gwen walks in and he goes, okay, first off, yelling at the dog like it can hear you and understand you is kind of dumb. But now you're, like, threatening violence, really?
Dude, she is so mean.
She is a bitch.
I don't understand. I don't know. She's very unlikable.
They're all unlikable.
They are, but I don't know.
Here is Justin supposed to help Eddie do good deeds, and he's sitting there like, I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
There's no good characters in this show.
It was weird because at first I was like, okay, she's going to be a cool character. They are all, they're all they're one dimension. Why? Because it's weird.
It is very weird.
It is very weird. She is just not supportive of what's happening right now.
Yeah, she makes fun of his baby weight.
Kind of?
Yeah, they get in a little pillow fight.
Oh, she makes fun of his baby fat.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
And he goes, oh, don't make me hit you. I said, oh, I thought I'd given you plenty of reasons to try and hit me. And he goes, you're right. And then he goes in for it. And they go on a pillow fight. Dad comes in and goes, what the fuck are you guys doing?
And yet, even as he said those words, he is still he's the
grounding point of, like, morality.
Sure. That works. Yeah. He's likable.
So the parents are likable. This is weird. We've never had a show where the kids were terrorists and the parents were the voices of reason. And
that is weird.
That's
why this works for this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
So at this point, he's like, all right, kids, y'all need to go to sleep. And, hey, Eddie, you need to go sleep outside. And he goes, no, I don't want to sleep outside. Oh, no, my tummy. And he's rolling around, pretending like he's sick. And he goes, oh, man, I didn't know you weren't feeling well. Why don't you stay inside? It'll be fine. He's like, and the award for best actor supporting dog goes to me. And he gets to stay in. And he tries to do this over and over. So it's now in the morning. He's walking around, and he gets hit by a little Nerf gun. Turns out Zarifa and Justin are upstairs shooting their little Nerf guns, trying to hit a target and missing.
Well, those things just ricocheted.
Yeah, well, so it only ricocheted with Justin. So with Zarifa, she had hit the dog. And then Justin talks some mad shit. He said, like, you should have hit him again, or whatever. He was like, oh, I should have hit you more. And she goes, why are you trying to hit me? He's not talking. She's like, are you talking to the dog? I was like, don't worry about it. So then he shoots at Eddie, hits some dishes, falls down and breaks, ricochets to a vase, falls down, breaks, hits a lamp, falls down and breaks. And it's like, holy fucking shit. And at this point, like, Zarifa's like, oh no, I can't believe we did that. He goes, oh man, I can't believe I missed. And I'm like, why are you trying to hit the dog? He's not a good dude in this episode.
He's not. The writing does do a good job at reminding us that the other characters can't understand the dog.
Right.
Which is, I think, helpful to at least develop their relationships with old buddy. What's his name? The main character kid?
Are you talking about Eddie or talking about Justin?
Eddie. Justin.
Okay.
Oof.
Dog or person?
Person.
Justin.
Yeah. So helpful. It's helpful.
Yeah, it's a little helpful.
What happens after this Nerf incident?
So then the sister comes
Dad
out.
walks in, right? Or
say what?
Sister walks in?
Yeah, sister walks in,
Gwen
sees
walks in.
all the damage. She goes, haha, well, turds, y'all can leave the house and leave it to me. And like, why are you talking to us like that? So it's 1, I said so. 2, y'all are losers. And 3, I said so. And then, of course, that comes in and goes, all y'all need to go to school. Stop being bitches. And so, of course, they leave, and it's like, all right, well, Eddie, you got to go outside. He goes, oh, no, my tummy hurts again. He goes, oh, man. All right, you can stay inside. Like, of course, it's like manipulation, but it's like you can tell the dad has got a good heart. He cares.
He does. He wants to do what's right.
He does.
He cares about the pup.
And so, as the kids are at school, we get a risky business reference in a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah. Are you surprised?
You're
not.
I want to be, but I'm sadly not.
Yeah.
So like Eddie like slides in with some glasses on his head. He's drinking colas. He's making popcorn, and then he smells something. Ooh, what is that? What does my doggy nose detect? And he goes to the front door. Guess who it is?
Gigi.
Gigi.
Yes.
He's like, how'd you find me? He goes, I sniffed a bunch of bushes trying to find you.
Yeah, I put my nose where it should have been.
He's like, oh, Eddie, are you going to let me in?
It would be very nice if you did.
Yeah. And so they have a little date. They're playing a little tug of war. They share some steaks that apparently the dad was trying to defrost. Like,
does Eddie eat people food? I can't imagine he has the palate for dog food.
He doesn't like dog food, but that's all they've given him. So when he has a chance to eat some steak because he's trying to impress a girl, he's going to take it.
That's fair. Yeah.
And so at that point, like, Gigi is like, oh, this makes me so sad. And he goes, why? I thought we had a great time. It's like, well, my owners are going to move and they're going to take me to Paris. Oh, Eddie, I wish you could come with me. Oh, you should meet me at the park and I will figure out a way to sneak you over to Paris where they will feed the dogs in the restaurants.
Well, it was serve the dog.
Serve the dogs
in restaurants.
He goes, I mean, they give you food at the restaurant. No, they serve them.
Yes. They let them in.
Yes.
And they serve them.
And so Eddie's like, all right, I got to figure out how to get over to this girl because she is digging me and I'm digging her. And so at this point, the school's not over. And Sarifa's meeting up with Justin. She's like, hey, I got plans for a clubhouse. We literally just got out of school. When did you have time to do it? 5 minutes ago when we got out of school. And so they're now working on that. That's their little side quest. And they get home. And of course, like, the dad comes home and he goes, oh, you're feeling better, Eddie? Cool. Let's get you outside. He goes, no, I'm so sick. And he extends his hand.
Just trying to earn another Oscar.
Yeah. And so at this point, the dad's like, oh, man, he's not feeling good. We should take him to the vet. And that's when Eddie's like, oh, I fucked up.
These are the moments where I start to laugh. You had asked me earlier.
I did ask.
You break it down and I'll point.
Okay, fair enough. We'll point away. So at this point, he's now taken to the vet. And he's like, all right, Justin, you got to get me out of here. I can't stay in here. I got to go see. Oh, thank you. I got to see Gigi. And so then Justin's like, all right, I got you. And he starts like pretending to cry. He's like, oh, doctor, like Eddie means so much to me. So keep him as long as you want. So he's good.
And the Oscar goes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really throws it back in his face.
That was funny.
That was funny. But also still douchey. Like I thought this was supposed to be the good guy. I don't know.
I don't think there is a good guy.
The dad is, but he's not the point. He's not the hero.
It's so bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah. All right. So they leave, right?
Yeah, they leave. And so the first thing that happens is the vet's like, all right, well, I got to check your temperature. And of course, I was like, all right, fine. He goes, oh, you're so cute. No, I got to go to the other end. And he goes, what? And I laughed at that because, like, we literally said, I was like, hey, what do you know?
Seth Green did an incredible job at react. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Nailed it.
Rectal temperature jokes. Not as old as I thought they would be.
No,
they still work.
They still hold up, I guess. Who knew?
And so at that point, she ends up giving Eddie some anesthesiatic, whatever, how would I phrase that?
That felt like the word.
Yeah.
It felt like a word.
Yeah.
All words are made up.
They're all made up.
When someone's like, that sounds like a made up word.
Yeah,
yes.
It was.
Yes, it was. Yes. You said what you said. We know what you meant.
So Eddie's now trying to escape. And that's when the medication's kicking in. And he's starting to get dizzy and loopy. He goes, oh, man, I don't feel good.
But he's got to get out of there.
He does, because he's got to get to Gigi.
Gigi.
And what's crazy is that he gets to Gigi. He finally breaks out.
But before he gets there...
Oh, there's so many things that happen. So first
there's
off,
only one thing that
we need to talk about. You're right. As he's walking around, he sees a yellow fire hydrant.
He sees a restroom.
Yeah, he sees the restroom and goes, I gotta let this out. And he goes to pee. Turns out the yellow fire hydrant was yellow pants on a little girl who was running away because a dog just peed on her.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
It somehow, of all the things that have happened in this episode that I was like, what? I don't think that's right. That one made me laugh so fucking hard.
And you know what even accentuated that? The ska music. They're playing ska music throughout this episode.
Of course it did. Yeah. It's so confusing. It's hard to know how to feel when you're watching a show like this.
But it was still a lot of fun. And so he ends up getting Gigi. He is all loopy. He is not being his charming self. He ends up throwing up on her. And she runs away. It's like, oh, you have broken my heart. You've thrown up on me, which is a real shame because being rude and throwing up would really fit in with Buddy.
Fucking nailed it.
Right? And so at this point, he's now found by Justin. Justin had to go find him because it turns out he ran away from the vet. And we see the clubhouse. The clubhouse was made, but Zarifa forgot the door.
Yeah.
And then she initially
turns mean. She becomes mean.
So
in this one too.
I'm gonna disagree. I don't think she becomes mean, but she definitely becomes more self-centered because she's like, this isn't perfect. It's off by a 16th of an inch, and it doesn't have a door, so I don't want any credit for this. If you want to talk about it, you made this, and I was just here for as an advisory role.
I think that's mean because I think she's basically saying all of that, but also saying this is your problem.
You can take credit for my mistakes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But that's still less mean than how everyone else is because the sister comes in.
She is the least mean person.
Yes. So,
other than Dad.
So then the sister comes in and goes, look, you throwing a pillow at me, kept me up at night, so that I lost my tennis match.
Apparently she plays tennis.
Yeah, apparently she plays tennis.
Now we know.
And she's so pissed that she ends up doing a powerhouse swing and destroys the clubhouse.
And what does Eddie say?
It was like, a powerhouse swing? How did she lose?
And then she says,
a powerhouse swing? How did I lose? She's so proud of herself.
And then the credits roll.
And then, well, not yet, because now Eddie's sitting there complaining about, man, this girl just left me and couldn't understand that I was under the influence. And they'll just leave you dry. And Justin's like, yeah, I know what you mean. He goes, bitch, you don't know what I'm talking about. He goes, you're right. And then more ska music.
And then ska music. And then credits. This
show was weird, man.
It fits the bill. It does. I still stand by how I feel about it. It's fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun. It's
no Duckula.
Oh my gosh, that was so awful.
We tried.
This was one of those things where it's weird but still fun. It wasn't just weird and then awful.
There's a I guess a narrative tangibility to it. Like you can still grab a hold of and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You can still poke holes and poke fun at it, but that is still part of the fun. That's just what's going to happen with these shows. I liked it.
I had fun.
Yeah.
And I had more fun watching you watch it for the first time.
That's fair. And maybe we take this approach going forward. Although that would just really be me being ill-prepared for an episode, which I am willing to sacrifice if I must. But we did it.
We did it, man.
We made it through a couple recordings, and we're still standing.
We stand during these episodes. We do. We don't even sit down at all.
This is a season 4 reveal. We stand on our tiptoes the whole time.
Like ballerinas.
Yes. Or ballerinoceroses.
If you have any shows you want us to cover, let us know on Instagram or Facebook.
Also, this season, we're talking about doing one episode that is not going to be Nickelodeon-centered.
This is very true.
Because we understand that we all have kind of mixed interests. It doesn't have to just be Nickelodeon. So we're gonna maybe try out like a Cartoon Network, or we haven't figured out yet. Stay tuned, and we hope it's enjoyable for you.
And if you got anything else you want to say to us, you can email us at whiskeylodeon.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. But until then, bottoms up.
We do the cheers, and we get weird, because we are dogs.
Trying to do good deeds.
Oh, across whiskey swords. That's not the one I thought it was. It's still good.